guys, what's up? And welcome to Module 3 of your 3D animation course. For this project, we will be animating a news intro logo. So this is our sample output for this project. As you can see, we have an animated video background, and then our text is animating slowly towards our camera or towards the front of our camera one by one. To be able to achieve this, we will also be using Motext or Motext. So let's get started. So the first thing we would need is a video background. So let's create a background from our create menu. And then let's create a material that would import our video background. So I'm just going to click our material editor. So here under our material editor, I'm going to uncheck reflectance, and then I'm going to click color. And then let's import our video file under our texture attribute. And then let's pick our news background MP4 video. So Cinema 4D will ask you if you would like to have an extra copy of that video background saved alongside your Cinema 4D file. But for me, I'm good with just one copy, so I will click no. Okay, next, let's apply this material to our background. So let's click and drag this to our background. As you can see, we now have a preview of our video for our background. But if we scrub our timeline, the video doesn't seem to play. To fix this, let's go back to our material editor window. So here under our material editor, let's go to our editor settings, and then let's check animate preview. We can also set a different resolution preview for our texture or video. So maybe let's set this to 1024 so that our video will not pixelize. Now let's close this, and if we scrub now in our timeline, our video is playing. So next, we will add our text for our news intro background. So let me just go back to our demo video here. So the nice thing about Motext or MoGraph text is if we want to change the text in our news intro logo but retain the animation, we can do so by just clicking our Motext and then going to our attributes editor and then changing our text on the fly. For example, breaking news. And then as you can see, our text is animated and updated in our scene. So that's the beauty of Motext. Now let's go back to our project. So to create a MoGraph text or a Motext, under MoGraph menu, let's click on Motext. Let's also create a new camera for our scene. So I'm going to click on camera under our create menu. And then I'm going to click the icon next to it to activate it. So now what we're seeing here in our viewport is our actual camera over here. So let's just adjust our view so that our text will lay flat in front of our video background. Let's also click our camera and change the focal length to 50 millimeters. So now let's alter our text. Maybe let's change the font to Arial Black. And then let's add a little depth. Then let's change this to Mint News, all caps. Okay, and then let's adjust our camera. Okay, next, we will try to animate each and every letters individually. We can do this by adding an effector. So to add an effector to our Motext, under MoGraph menu, go to MoGraph, and then click on effector. As you can see, we have different effectors for our MoGraph text. So I will find a few resources for you to watch if you would want to explore each and every one. But for this exercise, I will be specifically using the step effector. So let's click on step. So now as you can see, our text is sort of like scaled from the smallest to the biggest. So this is what the step effector does. So if we click our step effector from our object manager and then look at our attributes manager, we have an effector tab, parameter, deformer, and fall off. So for now, let's focus on the effector and parameter. So if we click on our scale and then adjust this, as you can see, each and every letter from our Motext is being affected. If we uncheck this and then apply maybe a rotation value, as you can see, we are able to animate each and every letter in our Motext. If we also check the position and click on the Z value, as you can see, our letters are moving forward and past our camera. So let's set that to 0. Let's minimize our view and then let's set this view to our perspective camera. Then set it to Gouraud shading. So here we can see our text, and now we will able to adjust our text better from this view and then preview it in our camera view over here. Okay, so in our step effector, I would want each and every letter of our text to be flying from the back of our camera and then showing itself on top of our video. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to click on the step effector and then I will check the position parameters. And then under Z value, I will just click and drag this until all of our texts are behind our camera, as you can see. So let's just adjust this. So now each and every letter is starting from the back of our camera and will eventually show up in front of it. So to adjust the position of each and every letter, let's go to our effector tab. So here under strength, if we play around with it, you can see we're able to control each and every letter in our Motext. As you can see here, even though our strength is set to 100, the letter M of our Motext still remains in front of our camera. So to fix that, we will also need to animate the minimum value of our min and max attribute here. So if we click on the minimum, as you can see, we are also able to animate the letter M. So what we need to do is animate this minimum at a certain point, and then once it hits 0, now we will be animating our strength to continue our animation. Okay? So let's start. From frame 0, I will set the strength. So I'm going to press Control and then click to add a keyframe. And then here in our minimum, I will also set another keyframe by clicking Control or Command. And then here, I'll just adjust it so that our letter M is not seen by our camera. Then let's add a keyframe. So that's our first pose for our animation. And then after maybe 30 frames or maybe 40 frames, let's adjust our minimum to 0%. So now we can see our letter M. Let's create a keyframe from here. Okay. So our M is now shown in our scene. Then afterwards, maybe at frame 90, let's create a keyframe in our strength attributes. Let's set it to 0 and then create a keyframe. So now we have our text animating in front of our video layer. We can still adjust our camera by just panning it down to center it. Okay, so now we have our Motext animated for our intro news logo. So one of the advantages of using Motext is, again, we are able to change our text but still keep our animation. So let's rename this to maybe World News. As you can see, it changes, but it also retains our animation. Or let's change this to News Report, all caps. Okay, and then now we can just adjust our font size. So that's the advantages of using Motext. You can add your own materials if you would like. So maybe I can just copy my old material from our demo. So I'm just gonna select this, edit, copy, then edit, paste, and then apply it to our Motext. Okay, so if we click our preview render, this is our final output. So I would be asking you to do a viewport preview render of our scene. So to do that, again, go to our clapper icon and then click make preview. And then make sure to set it to hardware OpenGL preview or viewport renderer preview, and then set the format to MP4 and then click OK. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.